All right, let's dive into safe housing in the UK. We're exploring the Housing Health and Safety Rating System, or HHSRS for short. And we've got a secret weapon, you could say. Inspection software called PocketSurvey. It's like a peek behind the curtain to see how these inspections actually work.
What I think is so interesting about HHSRS is it's not just reacting to problems, right? It's actually designed to prevent issues before they even happen, before they even impact tenants, which is a big difference from how things used to be.
Yeah, for sure. So what makes it so different?
Well, imagine you're renting a flat and you start seeing, damp patches on the walls. How do you know if that's just a minor annoyance or if it's a serious health hazard? That's the kind of question HHSRS helps to answer. It's about identifying those potential risks early on, before they become huge problems.
So it's not just about putting a Band-Aid on something. It's about stopping the problem from even happening in the first place.
Exactly. And this software we're looking at really demonstrates that preventative approach in action.
Okay, so let's talk about PocketSurvey for a minute. It's definitely designed to make inspections more efficient. But what I find fascinating is how it reveals the thought process
Yeah.
behind these assessments.
Yeah.
It's not just about ticking boxes. It's about gathering really detailed information so inspectors can make informed decisions about potential hazards.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's moving away from those simple yes or no answers. And it even suggests recommended actions, which I think brings a whole new level of accountability to the process.
It's like they all have a shared language now to
Right.
understand these hazards. So instead of just saying damp is present, the inspector would use this software to say, well, what kind of damp is it? Where is it located? What could be causing it? Which is incredibly helpful information
Yeah.
for both renters and landlords.
Absolutely. And the damp and mold section of the software is a perfect example of this detailed approach. It has checklists for specific types of damp, like penetrating damp or condensation, to help really pinpoint the root of the problem.
Yeah, that level of detail would be super helpful if you were trying to get some repairs done or if you were a landlord trying to address an issue.
Precisely. And speaking of being proactive, the pest control section of the software really highlights this preventative approach.
Oh, how so? How does the software handle something like a pest infestation?
Well, it goes beyond just asking if pests are present. It actually digs into the specifics, like what kind of pests are we talking about, where are they found, how bad is the infestation. It really encourages inspectors to think critically
Yeah.
about the underlying causes and potential solutions, not just treating the symptoms.
I could see how that would be really helpful
And-
to find the most effective way to deal with a pest problem and prevent it from happening again.
Right. And it doesn't stop there. Remember that example about damp on the walls? Well, imagine trying to decide which repairs to prioritize when you've got multiple issues going on in a property. This is where the costing feature comes in.
Yeah, that feature seems really useful for landlords and property managers.
Exactly. It allows them to estimate the cost of the work that needs to be done, which can help with budgeting and prioritizing repairs based on how serious the hazard is and how much it will cost to fix it.
Makes sense. So we've talked about the detailed checklists for things like damp and pests and a feature for estimating repair costs. What else does this PocketSurvey software have?
Well, they also mention a government scoring feature, which seems a bit more technical. It helps to prioritize issues by giving each hazard a score based on how likely it is to cause harm and how bad that harm could be.
Wait, so each potential hazard gets a score? How does that work?
It's kind of like a ranking system. They call it a hazard band. And it helps enforcement officers to focus on the most serious risks first. It adds a level of objectivity to the process, which is really important when you're dealing with something as important as housing safety.
So instead of relying on gut feelings, they're using data to make decisions.
Exactly. This data-driven approach makes the whole process more transparent and accountable. It helps ensure that everyone's playing by the same rules.
Interesting. So it's more than just a tool for documenting problems. It's actually shaping the way these inspections are done.
Yeah, and it gets even more interesting when you think about the bigger implications of the system. It's not just about individual properties. It's about raising the bar for housing safety across the board.
So it sounds like HHSRS in this software are really pushing for a more proactive approach to housing safety. But wouldn't all this detail make inspections more time-consuming and expensive?
Well, yeah, the initial assessment might take a little longer, but you have to remember, the software helps to streamline the reporting process too, and the action planning process. So that actually saves time in the long run. And in terms of cost, think about how much money you could save if you prevent those really big problems down the road.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. The long-term benefits. It's kind of like an investment in preventative care for your house in a way.
Exactly. And it's not just about saving money, it's also about creating a much healthier and safer living environment for people.
Right. Speaking of creating a more complete picture, the video also mentioned being able to add things like floor plans and certificates, even images to the reports. Is that all part of this data-driven approach too?
Oh, absolutely. All those little details can actually play a big role in creating a transparent record of the property. For example, a floor plan can help you to visualize the layout and where the potential hazards are. And the certificates show that the property meets the safety standards.
So it's not just words on a page. It's like building a visual case for any actions that need to be taken.
Exactly. It helps to paint a really clear picture of the property and the risks that are there.
This whole deep dive has really got me thinking about my own home, actually. Seeing how these inspections work makes me look at my place with a more critical eye.
That's great. It's about being more aware of your surroundings and
Yeah.
potential hazards. It's like you have a mini inspector in your head now.
Well, that's a little scary.
Yeah.
But it's also good to know I can spot these things now.
Right. And it's not just about your own home either. It's about your community too.
Yeah, like if we saw a building that looks really run down,
Hmm.
we could use this knowledge to assess the situation.
Exactly. You could even report it to the authorities if you thought it was necessary.
This has been a really interesting conversation. It's amazing how software like this is changing the way we think about housing safety.
It really is. What stood out to you the most?
I think the level of detail is really impressive. And the focus on preventing problems,
Yeah.
instead of just reacting to them, the fact that they've moved away from those simple yes or no answers to these super detailed checklists is a game changer for sure.
I agree. It makes everything much more transparent and accountable.
So now that we've learned all about this, what's the next step for our listeners? What can they do with this knowledge?
Well, this deep dive isn't just about learning. It's about empowering you to do something. So why not take a look around your own home with this new perspective in mind?
Yeah, that's a great idea. And to help with that, I put some resources in the show notes, like a link to the PocketSurvey website and some information from the government about HHSRS.
Perfect. And remember, if you're worried about something, there are people who can help. Your local council will have a department that deals with housing safety.
Right. And we can also work together as a community to raise awareness about these issues.
Absolutely. Collective action can be incredibly powerful.
Okay, well, this has been a fascinating look at HHSRS and how these inspections actually work.
Yeah, thanks to that pocket survey demo.
We've learned about the importance of prevention and the power of data to make our homes and communities safer.
And hopefully we've given our listeners the tools they need to advocate for better housing.
Absolutely. So until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe. It's amazing how much we've learned about housing safety just from watching a software demo.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how technology can be used to make things more transparent and give people the information they need to make things better.
Right. And speaking of empowering people, I think it's important to remember that you don't need to be an expert or an official inspector to make a difference.
Oh, definitely. Anyone can advocate for safer housing, whether it's reporting a problem in your own home or speaking up about something you've seen in your community. Every voice matters.
It's like we've got this new awareness now about our surroundings. We're not just living in our homes and communities anymore. We're actively trying to make them better.
It's a whole new way of thinking about things, isn't it?
So to our listeners out there, we encourage you to keep exploring this topic. Check out those resources we mentioned. Maybe even do a little inspection of your own home.
Yeah, it could be really eye-opening.
And remember, knowledge is power.
The more you know about these systems, the more you can do to make a difference.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into HHSRS. We've learned a lot today.
It's been great talking about this with you.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe.